Joey Vendetta in for Jim Rome. Joined now from Nickelback, Chad Kroeger at Nickelback. You can hit him on Twitter. That track is brand new, Edge of a Revolution. You can get it today, everywhere. iTunes, Google+, Spotify, all over the place. And I love polarizing figures in sports and in music. And people just love to rip on stuff. But it's amazing how many positive comments I'm getting on Twitter. At Radio Vendetta. Chad Kroeger on the line. Chad, thanks a lot for doing this. How are you today?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. So lyrically, this track, and I'm going to kind of bring this all back around. Last week, I went to Facebook and I went to Google for some meetings, right? And when I was up there, it struck me how much information is being gathered by all these different organizations, all these different companies. And, you know, you say in the song, the line, the secret's safe with the NSA. And it just struck a chord with me how much information is being turned over willingly and how much information is being gathered on all of us unwillingly and unknowingly. Is that kind of what you were talking about, that line and in the song with the way things are these days?
Well, I mean, you just said yourself, that's just simply what Google's doing. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably very little compared to what the NSA is gathering. I mean, you know, when you Google power tools, in the next week, you will randomly get emails from Home Depot, from this, from that. Everyone's got a tool sale on. And it's like, wait a minute, where did that go? I was just simply, you know, and it's really a drag when you've already gone out and purchased it the same day. Then you continue to just get hit.
It's funny.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're gathering this. They're selling the information off. You know, they're geo-targeting you. And that's just what companies are doing when they're trying to sell things to you.
You've experienced so much over the course of your career. You guys have sold tens of millions of records. You've been all over the world. Talk a little bit about how that's influenced your songwriting. And I know that you guys are on a different record label now. It's kind of I won't say a fresh start, but a transition as far as that goes. But we'll talk a little bit about more about the new record and all that. But tell me about your songwriting and how you write songs as a band and how the travel and being all over the world has influenced you. You know, things that you've seen perhaps and things that you've experienced that have influenced what you put down when you make a record.
Well, in terms of a song like this one, for instance, Edge of a Revolution, when it comes to traveling the world, you definitely get a different perspective when you watch news broadcasts from around the world. They're far more unbiased. And you definitely, like when you're in North America, you get the American side of things and the way that they want you to perceive their side of things. But yet when you watch the same news story in different locations around the world, they really just provide you with information, and it's not these are the good guys and these are the bad guys. It's this is what happened. You take that information and do with what you will. And so that is very eye-opening. It's no one wants to think of it being 2014 and still being fed propaganda, but we are on a daily basis. And so, I mean, that definitely plays into the entire writing aspect of a song like Edge of a Revolution.
If you're just joining us, Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, they have a new track that is available today called Edge of a Revolution, and you can get it in all the usual places like iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Spotify, et cetera, And do you have any idea when the new record's going to come out yet or what it's called? I know you guys are kind of still putting the finishing touches on that.
Recording.
Chad, I'm being polite. You're putting the finishing touches.
The last song is being recorded as we speak. We're just coming up with this track called 1,000,000 Miles an Hour. And I mean, that's going to be done over the next couple of days. And so once we get to sit back and look at the entire work as a whole, then we kind of have to decide, what we're going to, what tag we're going to put on this entire thing that's going to, what name is going to encompass, these 11 songs. And in terms of release date, I think, it's a moving target right now. So we're looking at, I think, the last week of October, possibly first week in November, but like I said, it's a bit of a moving target.
And if I can guess correctly, then you'll follow that up with a tour. I imagine around the same time will go on sale, and you guys will do you'll play the arenas or hopefully play some outdoor shows too. But tell me about that, and in terms of your live performances. Look, I said this off the top. You guys are a polarizing band. You're a band that your fans who love you go crazy for you. The people who hate you, they hate you. It is what it is. That's life. You remind me of a band that in the 70s was a massive band that the critics would attack, a band called Grand Funk, a band that sold out stadiums, and yet the critics would rip on them. And it's just funny because it seems that polarization is even more concentrated now in the society we live in, because everyone's got a voice now with Facebook and with Twitter and all the different social media tools. Now everyone has their own little network. How have you seen that landscape change over the course of your career from when you guys look, you guys have been around for a long time now. You've had like eight studio records, and you're a big band who tours all over the world and sells a ton of tickets. How's the landscape changed for you since the start of your career?
Well, once you've got songs plugging away at lots of different formats. I mean, our job is just to make it. We just make the music. And once we hand it over to the record company and they go to the radio stations and they try to get all this music played, it gets a little tough to get away from sometimes when you're getting played on 4 and even up to 5 different formats. And so that could definitely piss some fans off, or piss some people off who might have been on the fence or definitely aren't fans. But then, once you go away from that entire thing for a while, and you disappear, and you go on a world tour, and you stop making music for a couple of years, and now it's 2014, and it really just kind of seems like, do people even read comments anymore? Because the first 4 are usually just hate.
Yep, just hate,
and then it just doesn't really mean anything anymore.
Yeah,
and so it just has no bearing whatsoever. People are going to make music, and people are going to do whatever it is they do. I mean, I always say, if the second coming of Christ was to arrive, the first comment would be, "What took you so long?"
Yeah, and you suck.
Literally.
You suck, Jesus. By the way, you're back, but you know what? You suck. So I agree. Everyone, as I say always, everyone's got an opinion. They're like, you know what, and they all smell, and that's life. And if you're just joining us, it's Chad from Nickelback. They have a new track available today, "Edge of a Revolution." And again, Chad, before we let you go, let's talk a little sports. It is a sports show. Johnny Manziel last night flips the bird on Monday Night Football. Some people are just dismissing it. It's not a big deal. Other people are saying, look, this guy got rattled by the Redskins, and that's the bigger issue. And some other folks are saying this guy is immature and he's never going to mature. You've hung out with your share of athletes and people in the spotlight. You're in the spotlight. You married Avril Lavigne. You've gotten your share of people that I'm sure have stalked you, people that have criticized you. As you said, it's not a factor, but talk a little bit about what you think the comparison or the similarities are with being a rock star and being an athlete like Johnny Manziel, who on many levels is a rock star and has certainly behaved like one on occasion.
Well, I think that, when they're sitting there trying to goat him and get under his skin, it worked. When they're saying what they were saying from their bench, it's like, this is what you got to deal with. That's what they're going to try to do. And I don't think anybody on that bench took it. They're just like, whatever. Yeah, that's right. We got to you. You're rattled. That's what they were trying to do. So they were successful in doing that. I mean, in hockey, we all know about the instigators. And during every face-off or when they're in the corner, the stuff that gets said, there's some nasty stuff that flies that you try to keep under the radar. But some people's jobs are just simply to do that. I want you to get out there, and I want you to, under the skin of whoever it is that we really need to get rattled. And those positions exist. Those actual jobs are there for them. And, you know, sometimes people can persevere, and sometimes they can endure all of that flack, and sometimes you can't. And that's sports.
And there's people there to do that job, as you said. And before we let you go, Chad from Nickelback, two things. First off, favorite road city. Where's a favorite place in the world that you love to go to perform?
Favorite road city?
Yeah, well, maybe not perform, but just have a good time. What's the city that you're like, oh, man, I can't wait to get to blank? Is there one, or are there a couple?
I don't know if it's a city. My thing is always what day it is, because your best, you know, your favorite city to play on a Monday,
yeah,
is still a Monday, and you know, your least favorite place on the entire planet to play on a Friday or Saturday suddenly turns into your best market of all time, and it really is that simple. You know, when Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see towards the end of the set, you know, people are looking at their watch. They've got to go to work. They've got to go to school. They've got to relieve the babysitter, whatever it might be. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the hands are in the air, you know.
Yeah.
The drinks are flowing, and the only concern is, you know, how much longer is the band going to play, because I want to keep singing along.
Okay, last question. Married life. You've been married for a while now to Avril Lavigne. What's married life like? You enjoying it? Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I love it. It's fun. You know, it's something I hadn't tried before, and you know, we fell in love and decided to take the leap, and here we are. The anniversary was about a month and a half ago.
You bought her a nice piece of jewelry for that?
Yeah. I think my carrot purchases are going to be scaling back just a little bit.
Dude, you know what? You've exhausted your allotment of carrots. Okay, you're done for a while.
Yeah, I might be, but that's fun. You know, I like spoiling her, and she appreciates it. I mean, she can buy all that stuff herself. It's you know, you love spoiling those who really enjoy it, and you know, and she is incredibly appreciative of it, and so it just makes me want to do it all the more.
Chad, thanks a lot for doing this. Edge of a Revolution available today. New Nickelback track. Thanks a lot for being on the show.
Joey, thanks again.
All right, man. Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, and again, very polarizing figure. Getting attacked. Never thought I'd say this. Bring back Grant Napier. Well, our show will be dead today since we have to follow at Radio Vendetta talking Nickelback. So those are a couple of the negatives, and then there's like about 100 positives. Looking forward to hanging with that Radio Vendetta on the @Jim Rome show today. That was retweeted by about 180 people. So, again, everyone's got an opinion. That's life. And we're going to take your opinion next.